Boston Connor of the Toxic Table recently making waves by picking up a win over the Big Boss Man. Well, tonight, he and AJ Hawk of the Toxic Table joining forces as they face Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangman 2.0 with MJ Ferrantino.
Hey, great. I've been looking forward to seeing these guys in action tonight.
This next tag team match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, representing the Toxic Table at an unknown combined weight, the team of Boston Connor and AJ Hawk.
All right, a quick recap is in order here. AJ Hawk at RWL Southwest got the brakes beaten off him by Wanton J. Vandal of the Vandal Brothers. And as for Boston Connor, well, he's still riding the crest of a wave of an upset win over the Big Boss Man. And he thinks he is a huge deal now.
Yeah, well, they're about to FA and FO. Killer and Psycho, under the management of MJ Ferrantino, they've got their marching orders directly from Hangman Tex Lynch, and he said make these guys look like fools.
They're not wrestlers. It's plain for anyone with eyes. They know a couple of fancy-ass moves they saw on TV, or worse still, made up by themselves. They're totally untrained, and I wish these clown shoes would stick to talking sports with Pat McAfee.
Robble.
But we will get to see Killer and Psycho leave some size 14 boot prints in these pretender spot monkeys.
The gym rat and the Hamburglar.
Their opponents, accompanied by MJ Ferrantino, at a combined weight of 545 pounds, here are Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangman.
Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangman, live again through the magic of Hangman Tex Lynch, who recruited these two big boys to wear the masks and the ring gear of the original Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangman, bringing back one of his favorite tag teams from when he was growing up.
He found them working in an indie federation in Texas, and he said, well, look, they're just the right size, they've got the right kind of skills for a tag team, and, well, Tex loved the Texas Hangman in AWA back in the 80s, so, well, he brought them back. He's literally like Dr. Frankenstein.
And he has built not one monster, but two, and left them in the capable hands of what you might call his Igor, MJ Ferrantino, the boy whiz manager. And wow, I'm liking the new ring gear. Definitely conveys a degree of menace.
I really love that Tex has done this.
It's going to be Boston Connor and Texas Hangman Psycho leading the dance in this one. Referee Willie Johnson rings the bell. The men come center ring. Psycho locks up with Boston Connor, has him way in the middle of the air, slams him down face first into the canvas. There's a butt bump right there, driving the air right out of the ribs. Off the second rope, beautiful moonsault for a man that size. Texas Hangman Psycho rounds up Boston Connor. Connor whip to the Texas Hangman's corner. Psycho off the middle rope, a beautiful flying kick. Takes down Boston Connor. Boston Connor gathered up again. Psycho whips him again to the Texas Hangman's corner. Here comes Killer on the tag, and here comes a double team from the Texas Hangman. Whoa! Beautifully executed. And now Killer taking over for his team, Boston Connor, unable to get to his feet in time. Now Killer going to work on Boston Connor. Boston Connor taking quite a beating here at the hands of Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangman. Whip to the Texas Hangman's corner again. A kick to the ribs from Killer. Killer whips him to the ropes, rebounds off himself, and a spinning forearm. Down he goes. Here's a cover. 1, 2. A near fall pretty early on for the Texas Hangman. Here comes AJ Hawk on the tag. Locks it up with Killer. Killer's got him up over the shoulder, hangs him up over the top rope. The Texas Hangman. Whoa, here we go. Into a blatant choke. Killer absolutely not fooling around here. Turns his attention to Boston Connor. And it is beats of the Bodran time. 10 punches across the chest for Boston Connor, and he hasn't got much of one to begin with. And down he goes. Killer turning his attention back to AJ Hawk. Whips him to the Texas Hangman's corner. And here we go, Killer. Off the middle rope and another flying kick. These two working like a synchronized unit. Here comes Psycho on the tag. AJ Hawk has no idea where he is at the moment. Psycho whips him back into the Texas Hangman's corner. Another kick to the ribs. Here we go again off the middle rope. Another flying kick right to the side of the head of AJ Hawk. The cover one, but just the one. Psycho deciding whether or not he's going to take himself out of the equation. No, he's not. Here we go. A boot to the face of AJ Hawk, and out he went. And here comes Killer on the tag. MJ Ferrantino, the guardian, caretaker, if you will, of the Texas Hangman for Hangman takes this, and Enziguri takes down Boston Connor on the outside. A running kick to the face for AJ Hawk on the inside. And now Texas Hangman Killer driving both knees into the canvas on AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk rounded up again. Here's another forearm from Killer. The Texas Hangman firmly in control of the toxic table at the present time. Killer rounds up AJ Hawk, who seems to be helpless. Whipped into the Texas Hangman's corner again. Sat up on the top turnbuckle and will just knock right down. Killer said to hell with the superplex, just fall. And right back to Boston Connor and another set of 10 punches across the chest. As Psycho rolls AJ Hawk back inside the ring. And there goes Boston Connor. The Texas Hangman standing tall here against the toxic table. And look at this. Wrist clutch stomps to the back over and over and over again. Here we go. All the way up from the top. And boom, double boot stomp. About 275 pounds of weight coming crashing down. AJ Hawk whipped to the Texas Hangman's corner. Here comes Psycho. Whip to the ropes. And another beautifully executed tandem move and another quick cover with a hook of the leg. 1, 2, no, another near fall. AJ Hawk somehow finding his way out. Here comes Boston Connor on the tag. He gets locked up. And look at this, a quick counter into a DDT. The Psycho. Boston Connor moves back in, whips him into the corner. A running fist that takes Psycho down. And now, Boston Connor putting the boots and the knee to the throat of Texas Hangman Psycho. Boston Connor deciding to make his way to the top turnbuckle here. Psycho slowly getting back up to his feet, and here we go. Whoa, big time miss for Boston Connor. And Psycho going to take full advantage of the mistake. Rounds up Boston Connor. Whips him to the Texas Hangman's corner. And now begins driving knees into the midsection of Boston Connor, and down he goes. The Texas Hangman have been firmly in the driver's seat from the word go here against the toxic table. Both knees right into the chest of Boston Connor. Psycho steps up. No, he's not. He's going to go to the top turnbuckle. I thought he was going for a tag. Here we go. Another double boot stomp right across the midsection of Boston Connor. He's got to have virtually no air left in his lungs. Boston Connor whipped to the Texas Hangman's corner. Another kick to the ribs. And another. And another. And another. Whoa, look at this. Psycho putting the boots. Boston Connor counters. Goes after Killer as well. Goes out onto the apron. And drops him on his back right on the lip of the apron. MJ Ferrantino caught in a cluster here. Boston Connor slams Psycho's head into the apron. And now the Texas Hangman finding themselves at a sudden disadvantage at the hands of the toxic table. Boston Connor locking in the heel hook stretch on Psycho. This has been a wild one. There's a stomp to the lower abdomen. Boston Connor walking it off. Returns, delivers a kick to the chest of Psycho. Drops the leg right across the throat. Boston Connor rolls himself back inside. And he has found some of that big-time energy he had against the big boss man at RWL Southwest. Psycho back inside the ring. Locks it up with Boston Connor. Whips him to the ropes. Has him up. Whoa, knee to the midsection and a wicked spin kick. It takes Boston Connor down off the ropes. Beautiful moonsault. Psycho drops the leg, but Boston Connor was not there. Boston Connor rounds him up, nails him with a forearm. Down goes Psycho, and here comes AJ Hawk again. Psycho. Whoa! My, did you see that? Psycho went flying. AJ Hawk using pure physics there. Fails to connect with the double axe handle. Gets locked up, whipped into the Texas Hangman's corner. And whoa, here we go. Going Joe Louis on AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk back up on his feet again all of a sudden. Whips Psycho to the ropes. There's a clothesline and down he goes. AJ Hawk rounds up Psycho. Another short arm clothesline. AJ Hawk steps over, delivers a second, steps over a third time, and here we go. Boom! There's another clothesline. As AJ Hawk steps out, here comes Boston Connor again. Psycho back up on his feet. Whoa, what a running kick right there. Just about took his head off. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. That is it. The Texas Hangman defeating the Toxic Table by pinfall.
The time was 8 minutes and 38 seconds. And your winners, the Texas Hangmen.
Okay, so who didn't enjoy seeing those little Toxic Table upstarts get ragdolled and dilly-dogged by the Texas Hangmen? The momentum was killer and Psycho from the opening bell to the closing bell, and they gave no breaks to Boston Connor and AJ Hawk. To me, it was a thing of beauty and a joy for 8.5 minutes.
Dilly dog. I like dilly dog. That's cute.
And so it is. MJ Ferrantino, Hangman, Tex Lynch, and Killer and Psycho, all with cause to celebrate this evening as the Texas Hangmen rack up a win over the Toxic Table. And we'll be back with more RWL Rage right after this.